And well met. 'Tis I Bard, pronouns they, them, and she, her, welcoming you once again to the Mad Realm. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over a product that I use quite a bit as of late in my artistry career, and that is the cube. Or more accurately, cubes, because there's two of them. So without further ado, let's head over to the desk and I'll give you a show. So if you're anything like me, when you go to paint a miniature, especially if you're not planning to work with the box art, it can be a bit daunting to try and find the right colors or the right inspiration. As I talked about in my last video, inspiration is a pretty nebulous concept. If you don't have an idea of how you want to paint something, and you can't draw on concepts or references for that, then it feels almost impossible. And others might say, turn to color theory. That is something that I will always say as well. But if you are not trained in color theory, it can feel very, very daunting. There are all these technical terms, there's all these mixtures and complements and contrasts and so on and so forth, that if you don't have training in, can feel, like jargon. And in a future video that I will publish, I will go over all of that jargon to make it more accessible to you. Because I feel a lot of people want to think they know how to explain color theory. I've used it quite a bit in my experience, and I've seen a lot of others use it in their miniature painting. But when they actually try and explain it, if they haven't taught people before, they're just sort of reading slideshows, right? Which is no help to anyone. And thus, in that advent, you may turn to an online color generator, which are for free on the internet for anyone and everyone to use. And so, if that is within your preference and your budget, absolutely go for those. Use your resources. Use whatever resources you want. Just because I'm making a video on this product, which, by the way, I'm not sponsored on, I bought this myself with my own money, then, I'm just a gal who has these. Don't take this as I am being the authority on it. I don't make any money from this. I don't think that this works for everyone. But if you like to have glossy, physical things in your hand that you can reference and look at and investigate, then this might be the product for you. Otherwise, as I had said, there are a bunch of free color palette generators online that are, by my reckoning, pretty damn good. I will have a few links for those in the description below, as well as the link to Sarah Renae Clark's website, where you can buy the cubes. So, what exactly are the cubes, you may be asking? Well, the color cubes are 2 volumes of 500 swatches, 250 swatches each. Each one has a photographed image on it, the colors at the bottom, typically 4 to 5, though there are some with 6. And on the back, you have the names of those colors, their hex code, and then their progression from the base all the way moving to the progressions in if you add white, gray, and black. The sort of grayish area being the midtone, the color that is shown on the card. I find these very useful, especially as someone who is studying art, to not only use them sort of like flashcards so that I have a deeper understanding of these colors that I use. Because rather than looking at a paint pot and seeing Nagaroth Night, I can reference it as its name or even its hex code to better help people sort of understand what paint I'm using. Because also, if someone is looking to you for a tutorial and they don't have the same paint brands as you, it can be really hard to try and find an accurate conversion. It is very, I guess you can say, exclusionist in my view. So having like the generic paint names is pretty cool, and I'm glad that things like Army Painter are doing that nowadays. And you know, I think we should see more of that. Furthermore, on these cards, which, note, do come out of a bit of a steep price, art is expensive, and this is a small creator as far as I am able to tell, so it will be a bit pricier, but it is worth it, in my opinion, to get these if you're the type of person who likes glossy things, who likes the physical cards, the references, as I said. I'll just thumb through them and go tee hee 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 because I like it. I think there's also a PDF version of these, so if you want them but not the physical copy, you can just get a PDF of it. Works the same way. You just see it on a screen rather than in your hand. And for these, I sort of utilize them just as a little challenge as well, because it's very easy to come up with a paint scheme all your own. It's very easy to create a test model, choose things, and figure it out on your own. But when you are presented with a palette that is made by another person, you as an artist grow, because you have to try and figure out those paints, their interactions with one another, how they contrast, how they complement, how they mix. And that is a useful skill to have, especially when it comes to miniatures. Mostly because since it is a 3D form, you have a bunch of options for lighting. You have a bunch of options for reflections, contrast, so on and so forth, that you just don't get from a traditional 2D plane. And these cards are that challenge. That's why I like them. That's why I got them. Not only is it a sort of cheat, quote unquote, that allows me to have a free color palette. Well, not really free, but you know, I don't have to pay every time I get it. But a color palette nonetheless that I can just look at and go, I'm going to paint this funky little guy these colors and figure it out from there. And just to showcase the results you can get, I am going to showcase a few Chaos Warriors that I painted utilizing color swatches from this set. So, without further ado, let's take a look at some of these, shall we? That was today's video. Once again, some more free-flowing content because I like the easy flow of just hopping in front of a camera and giving my honest, unscripted opinion on things. I feel that a lot of times YouTubers, when they're discussing how to create art, don't get into the process of just rawness. You know, it's very professionalized. It's very, I would not say sterile, because there is heart, there is personality. It's very showcasey, right? So I'm here just simply doing as I do, which is why I want to come on here, tell you about these. And as a reminder, I'm not sponsored by Sarah Renae Clark. I bought these color cubes like 2-3 years ago with my own money. No discounts, nothing. I was just scrolling around Instagram looking at art supplies because I have an obsession with them. And I found these and I was like, ooh, cool. I can work with these. And so I got them. Do I think that this product is wonderful for miniature painters? Yes. Do I think that if you're painting minis on a smaller scale, not like millimeters, but on a painting a squad and then getting like another squad as opposed to full armies, that this would be good? Maybe. If you want to paint minis individually, each one having their own color like I do, these are perfect for you. If you like them physical, you can get them physical. If you like them PDF, you can get them PDF. And if you don't want them, then you can find plenty of online color palette generators. Like I said, your art is what you make of it. This is a quote-unquote hobby. It's not like you're, utilizing some knockoff citation machine for your college essay, right? This is what you make of it. There's no wrong way to do art, and there's no wrong way of getting references, unless you use generative AI or you just straight up steal another person's work. That those are wrong ways. But yeah. Beyond that, nothing much to say. I really love the product, and I hope to show y'all in the future what I'm going to be doing, because right now I'm filming a large video, and not in terms of length or content, but in sheer amounts of shots of miniatures that I have to get. So get ready for that. My name has been Bart, pronouns they, them, and she, her. Thanking you for watching this video, and with all of that, may chaos reign. Bye-bye!